Yo, crew. I'm the youngest lad. Them can't style me, move on side me. When I want for Mercury, so best to know avoid me. Notice I'm calm on me, addressing in the kindly. Oh la la, hey, enough of them say them with the thing. And them up behind your back for try clip, you ain't know that. I fancy them from them best to learn. Couldn't see all with you, so them answer the shit for sing. Fool them just attack it, to call them when they talkies. What them need to do is switch them out in a some happy. No for them I sell out, what's than the supermarket. Tell them we see the pre already and now with them can't treat. No, them a gangster, them a shatter, them a bad I repart, there's a matter, but I need to act them roll, yeah. Living happy ever after, move on to another chapter. Used to break multiple fracture, but we cool now. Treat you good, so what's the matter? Give them all we have to offer. Too much snake in the grass, we need a walker. The man and half come like a flash, a dirty heart to them character. Want forget everything, pan a save a platter. Oh, enough for them say them with the thing. And them up behind your back for try clip, you ain't know that. I fancy them from them best to learn. Couldn't see all with you, so them answer the shit for sing. Fool them just attack it, to call them when they talkies. What them need to do is switch them out in a some happy. No for them I sell out, what's than the supermarket. Tell them we see the pre already and now with them can't treat. I'm bare premium over girl in choose a witch over Impala. Make sure turn him in a system in a rate that. If you a bird can't come between me, I'm a dog for me, I pre the man so hard over some joke thing, you a be at that. But on the time for the hate, I gone for call it the paper. Gots to make the bread, I'll do them in a baker. But some things in our life hurt like that. Like when you find out somebody you trust is a traitor, youth. So what you want to say? For anyone of my brother, them me we make the man knock any time of day. Just unfortunate, say I know everybody pre, so back at it, Rome send the rhythm, say fi attack it. Make them get the picture like your shutter flick. People who are walking contradiction, say one thing and do the opposite. Verbal diarrhea, chat a lot of shh. Enough of them say them with the thing. And them up behind your back for try clip, you ain't know that. I fancy them from them best to learn. Couldn't see all with you, so them answer the shit for sing. Fool them just attack it, to call them when they talkies. What they need to do is switch them out in a some happy. No for them I sell out, what's than the supermarket. Tell them we see the pre already and now with them can't treat. Yo, crew. I'm the youngest lad. Them can't style me, move on side me. When I want for Mercury, so best to know avoid me. Notice I'm calm on me, addressing in the kindly. Oh la la, hey, enough of them say them with the thing. And them up behind your back for try clip, you ain't know that. I fancy them from them best to learn. Couldn't see all with you, so them answer the shit for sing. Fool them just attack it, to call them when they talkies. What them need to do is switch them out in a some happy. No for them I sell out, what's than the supermarket. Tell them we see the pre already and now with them can't treat.
What is up, everybody? We are back with Late Night Skull Sessions. It has been a minute since I've done this, and I just want to apologize. You know, life be lifing sometimes, and I have an obligation to my esports show, so sometimes things fall by the wayside. I'm sorry. I figured wasn't doing anything tonight. We don't have any games going on this weekend, so why not get into it? Why not actually keep my word and talk about our childhood memories? I wanted to do this one just to kind of get that nostalgic feeling, right? Get some people that I know that tell some really good stories, got some really good outlooks. We can kind of share what things used to be like, and in hopes maybe we can get that back. So bring it up to the stage first, Mr. Lord Destro, aka Jermaine Smith. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. How you doing? I'm good. And yourself?
You're doing good. Looked like you was taking a nap for a second.
No, I was wiping my eyes. That's all. Because I was
taking a nap. What were you doing?
Nah. I was just wiping my eyes. That's all.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'm a little sleepy, but I'm good though.
Have you ever been on Late Night?
I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I've always been the one to chat.
This is somewhere that you can be a little bit more open, well, a lot more open than you could be on the other one. So, well,
that's
true.
Right.
Very, very true. Also, welcome to the stage, Mr. Man Eating all the time, my good friend, Mr. Eddie Gage. He is I and I am him. What are you eating on, man?
Dinner. Shit. A little something. Trying to lose weight, so trying to eat light. Wow.
What is salad? I mean, if you're
Oh
gonna be eating on
hell
the show
no.
and not sharing with people, you might as well go ahead and tell us what you're eating on.
No, no, not salad. I gotta eat meat. No.
The Chinese spare ribs over there.
No. I got baked pork chops and rice.
Okay.
Okay, all right then.
And mixed vegetables.
It's not fried, huh?
No.
I mean, we got some mixed vegetables in there. I'm proud of you just for that. What's going on, Corey? How you doing there? Giving Eddie a hard time as usual.
Oh yeah. Just every time I turn the damn computer on, I click on either this show or something else that he's on. He's always got a plate of some bullshit in front of him.
Man, you know he got some chewing tobacco or something in your mouth, man. You good?
I do.
You a baseball player?
Baseball, football, anything.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Ugh. Let's just watch Eddie eat. Let's just watch Eddie eat for the first 10 minutes of the show.
I even got water. See, water.
Yeah, ASMR with Eddie. Nuts. Well, welcome to the show, y'all. Welcome back to the show. Brought you here.
See, I knew Corey wasn't no
first
good.
thing I would like to talk about, since Eddie is.
I knew Corey wasn't no good. He got Dr. Pepper. That shit is disgusting. You throw that shit away.
You watch your dirty mouth. that you know what? In Texas, you can talk about my mom, you can talk about my grandmother. You don't talk about Dr. Pepper.
That stuff is disgusting.
Honestly, I wasn't really much of a Dr. Pepper guy up until maybe a few years ago. I was always Pepsi.
No, there you go, Pepsi. Now you go see Pepsi, Mountain Dew.
I love Pepsi, but Dr. Pepper. That I mean, you can't go anywhere in Texas without Dr. Pepper. I mean, that's just like what does it do as the Romans do when in Rome? Yeah, got to adapt to survive.
DJ Kilgannon joining us, saying now that's a crime to say. Crime or travesty. But since you brought it up, man, since this is the topic for right now, let's talk about food when we were childhood. Our childhood favorite foods, things that we used to like that maybe our mom fixed, our grandma fixed. Like for me, going to my grandmother's house, and both of them knew how to cook biscuits, man. It was these big saucer, like how you have the teacup and the saucer. They would literally make those biscuits just as round as the saucer would be. So they'll be about this big, flaky, buttery, put some syrup on that bad boy. I'm like 4 or 5 years old, just sitting there with that biscuit just as damn near as big as my head, happy, And
biscuit.
Just thinking about that kind of brings back those good memories. Like, hell yeah, it was a big biscuit. And I ate every bit of it too. But what was something that you guys can remember, like from your childhood, that you ate, that every time you eat it now or you think about it, just take you right back there? And I'll start with you first, Corey, on this. Yeah.
One thing, well, there's actually two things. One, I'm not sure if you ever been up north, but it's big up there. Pierogies. You ever had a pierogi? I love pierogies, and that is something I can still smell it anytime, because my family, they would hand make pierogies. It wasn't no store-bought BS. My great-grandmother, my nanny, she'd be in there making the dough, making everything. And she'd always get pissed at me because she'd have the potato and cheese filling right there. And I'd go in and start, stealing out of that. She'd whip my ass. But that's one of the things I always remember her making. She'd always whip my ass though. That was some good shit. But even before it went into but no, that was pierogies is one of my biggest ones. The other they would make. Now this was when I was much younger, but they would always make tomato sauce. She'd get tomatoes from her garden, make homemade tomato sauce, and they'd do the canning and everything down in the basement at our house. This is when we lived up in Pennsylvania, and homemade sauce every year. I can still smell that smell of the tomatoes getting roasted and getting all grinded up and everything. It was, damn it, now I'm hungry. Now I could go for some pierogies now. Shit.
What about you, Destro?
Well, now and then, I know my eating habits.
Though, right?
Well, yeah, my eating habits have changed, but I know that my mother's potato salad and my aunt's potato salad. It's rare that I can eat somebody else's potato salad. I'm very picky when it comes to potato salad. I can't just eat everyone's potato salad, and my mother makes it a certain way. Now, since we no longer eat pork, none of us do. So now we have to change up the rest. We can't use mayonnaise anymore. We use salad dressing, and so now it's the change is kind of altered a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same. And that's just, and my mother doesn't really make potatoes like she used to, but my aunt still does, and and my mother will eat it, and it's great. I can tell you a story. I was at my grandmother's funeral back in 2021. Excuse me. I was at my grandmother's funeral, and a lot of things you go through your mind, reminiscent of back then, when you're young. And my grandmother made this chip beef gravy, and it was off the chain, but no one can replicate it. And I never got the recipe. So I remember I looked over to my daughter and was like, I said, I need you to talk to my mother, your grandmother, and your Aunt Kathy. Make sure you get that recipe for that potato salad. That potato salad does not leave this earth. I said that potato salad recipe needs to be passed down. You learn it, master it, and then when you get married and have a family, you pass that on, because to this day, no one has been able to replicate my grandmother's chip beef gravy. And a lot of the old school stuff, is kind of lost because for various reasons we'll get into later. A lot of things have been lost through the years. But I remember my great grandmother on my mother's side, she had a farm, and she had gravy made from scratch. All types of gravy made from scratch. When you didn't buy food from the store, they fed off the land. If they didn't grow it, they raised it. One thing I had to get used to, my Uncle Tommy, he had a steak. I used to eat beef steak, and I said, why does this steak taste different? It's still good, seasoned. Why does it taste different? And my father had explained to me, he's like, son, you're eating it straight from the source. You're not getting it from the store where it has all the preservatives and all the added stuff that's inside the beef that alters the taste. That's what you're not used to. And I was like, okay, it makes sense. Because back in the day, my father, when he was alive, he would go, when he was in the military, he had to hook up. He'd go in the country and go up to one of the little butchers and, hey, give me a little slab of this, give me a little New York strip, give me this, that. Get him off a few dollars, and then that was it. So, that was one of those things that, potato salad mainly, but also was like, hey, make sure that these recipes don't leave this earth.
Okay. Eddie, what about you?
My grandmother's
finishing whatever you eating over there.
I'm done. my grandmother's sweet potato pie, her Sunday dinners, and the whole family used to go over there on Sundays, dinner every Sunday. And if you only ate one plate, she was insulted. She took it as a form of disrespect if you didn't eat at least two plates. My grandmother could throw down. It wasn't nothing she couldn't cook. But yeah.
And not just that, but I guarantee you had to leave with a plate too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I had to leave with a plate for sure. And I had to bring that plate back.
Yes.
I had to bring that plate back when I was done. That's when I came through.
You leaving grandma's house staggering too.
Put some foil on it. Keep it moving. I feel you.
Dude, we would be on the living room floor just laid out, bro.
So remember back in the day when you used to have family time, but it wasn't something that was forced per se. That's you was just around your family, you know, like you just had those moments where you go over to Christmas, the holidays, or somebody's birthday. Unfortunately, those funerals, those times where you had to go to the funerals and things of that nature. But you did have those gatherings where you were with your family, and those were really special times. Does anybody want to share like a special occasion or a special moment that sticks out in your mind when you were a child? And I could start with you first. I'll start with Corey first. Last time I'll start with you first. Eddie.
I remember my dad, without almost any notice, told us we packed up a few days' clothes and drove down to Eudora, Arkansas. I mean, it's one of those towns, I kid you not, the post office is about the size of your kitchen. Everybody knows everybody.
Oh, damn.
There was this one bridge that was made out of wood. I don't know how that thing stood up, because when you drive across it, it felt like it was about to collapse. You go to the store and everybody's like, "Hey, Bill, what's going on?" Everybody literally knew everybody. And I just remember going down there, and it was just so different than what I'm accustomed to in Chicago. And I remember we got there at night, and when I got up the next morning, my grandmother on my dad's side was cooking breakfast. And she said, "Why don't you go next door and get you some playing cards? Y'all can play cards while I'm cooking breakfast." Now keep in mind, they got livestock in the backyard. So she literally killing what we about to eat. And I ain't never seen nothing like that. I'm talking about wringing chickens' necks and watching them run around till they flopped over and all that. But I remember when I went outside to go next door, first of all, there's no houses across the street, because when you walk outside her house, it's the grass, a dirt road, and corn as far as you can see left and right. And so then I'm like, "Where the neighbor at?" So I looked left, and the neighbor's house was about a good 2 blocks away. I'm like, "That's your neighbor?" I said, "By the time I get back, y'all gonna be there, ate all the food." Nah, I ain't about to go down there and get them playing cards. You crazy as hell. But it was fun times, man. It was hot down there and humid, but it was a nice little town, man. It was cool.
Nice. What about you, Destra?
Pretty much, my childhood is just the Sundays. I was a day back in the day. I think they call them, was it brown laws, blue laws, to where stores were closed on a Sunday. I mean, I grew up in a small town in central Western Maryland, so it's like back in those days, Sundays it was closed. The only thing that was open was the 7-Eleven, the police station, the hospital, and that was it. And then you might have a store open maybe, I don't know, so 3 o'clock to 5 maybe, but in the 80s, in the early 80s, late 80s, I remember they were closed. But that was the day to where you went to church, went to Sunday school, you went to 11 o'clock service, and then when the pastor, he preached all until like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then you went home and you went to one's house. We had a rotation. It wasn't just a set place. Sometimes I go to my grandmother's house on my mother's side. Sometimes I go to my great aunt's house on my father's side. We kind of rotate around. Sometimes we had at our place. So that was the main thing that we did, was just eating on Sundays. It wasn't just holidays. Now it's kind of like you meet up on holidays and then that's it. You know, sometimes you have people in your own town, your own family. You won't see them once or twice a year, you know, on a holiday. And sometimes you don't even see them on that holiday. But those are things that I remember and I missed mainly just every Sunday just hopping from this place, that place, or you had it at your at your house. And it's lost these days. And I guess we'll get into that maybe later on. It's just kind of like it's fun. I'm glad you had this brought up, not to cut it about, but I'm glad you brought this up because this has been on my mind for a while, for about a few weeks, because I so want to go back to the day. Because I think with a lot of chaos going on in this world, I think it's time that everyone needs to kind of like, reel it in, and go back to the basic fundamentals. So.
I agree. We're going to talk a little bit about something that kind of bothers me about that too. Like, I want to know what happened. Where did it all change? Like, what did it all happen? But we'll talk about that in a minute. Corey, I'm going to let you go ahead and say your favorite.
You're not going to ask Destro how much he paid for that drink? Look like that thing cost a good $2. I'm surprised he spent that much money.
It was sale today. It was buy two get one free.
I knew it.
So I spent $2.80 for 3 of them. I saw that deal, and I was like, I'm going to take advantage of it.
Go ahead, Corey.
Tell him again, Destro.
Gotta learn how to save money this day and age.
Oh, man.
Indeed. I'll be honest. Like when it comes to that, I kind of wish we would do like what Destro's family does, getting together on Sundays and stuff like that. We really didn't do that. I mean, biggest thing I'd always remember was because I was heavily in sports when I was younger. And, it was, especially during football season, basketball and baseball, we kind of played right there in the county we were in. We didn't go too far. Football, however, we'd have to go. Now, mind you, this was the youth football, so we'd have to go in Western PA, so that you'd have to drive 3 hours just to go play an opponent. This is youth football. So my family, it would always be a weekend trip since the games were on Saturdays. As soon as I got out of school Fridays, we'd pack up the fifth wheel we owned, and we'd just take it to wherever we were playing the game. Just go out there and camp. Just hang out. And usually, I had a bunch of my school-age friends, a bunch of kids I grew up with. They were on the team. They would be right there too, and we would just hang out, just BS the whole time. 9 times out of 10, we would find a pond and go fishing. We would just go fishing up, until it's time to go to bed, wake up the next morning, play our game, come back to the campsite, go back to fishing. That was every Saturday during the football season when I was younger. And I mean, I just kind of miss that simple stuff, like just little simple things like that, just playing football, then going fishing. Yeah. It's adulting sucks. I'll just say
right with that. Just cut in real quick. When you said that, it's like
it ain't what I thought. The
thing is, it's like sorry to cut you off. I just want to say something real quick. Is that when it comes to adulting, it's almost like 21 is the age that you want to come by real fast, and it does. It's like when you're a kid, you want to be 14 real bad so you can go to work, make your own money. Then you want to be 18 so you can be able to go out and at least try to get into the 18 under club. And then it's like, dang, man, I want to be able to drink. Man, those 3 years go by so fast, and then Once you hit 21, those years lap on you. Next, you know, you're 48 and you got a bad right knee and you're hurting and pain waking in the morning. And you're just like, dang, go on. So I told my daughter, she's 23. It's like, I can't wait. I was like, okay. I said, you better slow it down because now she's starting to feel it because she's like, Dad, you work, don't you? You gotta get your own money. Yeah, but you want to be a adult. You said you were grown, right? Yeah, it's what grown folks do. Grown folks got to find a way to pay for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I don't like this. I was like, join the crowd.
Welcome.
There you go. There you go. You know, some of my favorite memories were when we did go to the different holidays, you know, visit my grandmother. Well, you do house hopping. So you would go to your aunts, you go to your uncles, you go definitely to your grandmother. You cannot go anywhere else without hitting your grandmama's house. If you don't go, you will not hear enough about it until, you know, that next season, you know. But those were some fun times because that was a chance for me to get a chance to see cousins that I haven't seen in years. It is a shame that when they passed, that stopped. That wasn't something that we, you know, held traditionally. And I wish that we could definitely get that back. But another fond memory I had is when I'm from Georgia. So we have these beautiful skies. And in the house that we lived in East Point, we had a pecan tree. We had pecan or pecan, I don't know what you call it. A peach tree. We had cherry tree. And there was another tree that was back there, an apple tree. But the peach tree was kind of eroded a little bit. So it kind of the branches kind of laid off to the side a little bit. So when it rained, my sister and I would kind of put up a tarp and we would go outside and we put out chairs and we would just love to sit out there in the rain, listening to the rain hit the tarp and just be out there chilling, man. We didn't need cartoons. We didn't need toys. We didn't need any electronics. We didn't have them like that, but we didn't need that. We just loved nature and just taking that time out to just even remember just laying up there on sunny days and looking at the sky and like looking at the clouds and trying to formulate what we see, you know, all of that. It's great times for us, man. It was just a little simple things that I really enjoy and just think back on now. It was cool, and I wish we could all get it back. I wish my children can go out there and lay out there and look at the, you know, the stars or stuff like that. But scorpions out here, we ain't doing that. But good times. But so what is some stores that you miss seeing, that you went to, that we had available, you know, that we kind of took for granted that was going to be here now? Like Blockbusters. I thought we would always have Blockbusters.
They screwed themselves.
Yeah, they had a chance to buy Netflix and they didn't do it.
Yeah, they had the opportunity. They dug their own grave.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't know that?
No, I said they kicking themselves. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. They had a chance.
They passed up, and next thing you know, where's Blockbuster?
Technology left them behind.
There's one Blockbuster in the entire country. It's all the way out there in Washington State. I think it's old school too. They still have the old equipment. They still in the same way, and people they go there for nostalgic reasons, but you know they get Blu-rays and stuff. But I mean, just the way the technology just phase them out. When was the last time you bought a DVD? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I remember when DVDs first came out, that DVD player was like $300.
You can't remember any DVD?
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Them DVD players, man, was expensive. I'm like, whoa.
Did you ever have
Me? Yeah, I
Did
had one.
did y'all ever have like a Betamax? Did y'all ever have a VHS player?
I had a
Oh yeah,
Betamax.
my dad had one.
VHS.
Yeah, my grandfather had my step grandfather had a Betamax. Yo, I was like, man, it was weird because like I had a VHS. I brought some karate flicks over to watch. I'm like, man, watch this shit. I didn't understand it. I'm like 6 years old. I'm like, watch this thing. It's weird. And then my uncle explained to me, oh, they got two different ones. They got a Betamax and then they got VHS. I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I gotta wait till I go back home and watch the flicks then. So, yo.
Did you? Oh my God. DJ says, I don't think I've watched a DVD unless it was like in school in first grade.
What is DJ?
Wow,
19?
bro.
Man.
I was gonna say can he even buy beer yet?
No, he ain't like,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he just turned 21.
Yeah, Lee.
Oh, good Lord.
Man.
See, I'm right there at the cusp. Yeah, he's 21.
Yeah,
See,
see?
I'm not terribly much older than him. Like I'm only 36. So like, but I'm right at the cusp where I was still using a cassette tape to record freaking songs off a fucking radio when it came on. Like, I'm just old enough to be doing that shit.
I think everyone, we did that too. You sit there waiting for the song.
Yep, waiting for that perfect
you call the radio show. You call the radio show, man. Can you play this one song for me?
Yeah.
As soon as they come on, oh, by request. Here we got this.
Yeah.
You wear that tape out too.
Yes, sir.
Or
you only get,
remember how
you realize you weren't recording half the song, and then you get pissed.
What was that, Ashley?
Exactly. Or how you used to do your voicemails, your old voice machines, when you have to play a song first and then you turn it down. Hey, you've reached Ashley.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to come to the phone right now.
Yeah.
And then you go back up and you turn it
The good old days.
We did the most, man. I was just so happy. Oh man. But hey, have y'all seen a Sears? Is there any more Sears around? Is there any more like Toys R Us kids? Is there any more
Toys R Us? I think they're bringing back. I thought I saw something about them bringing back, but it's going to be like tied into something else. Sears, I think they're done. They closed the one close to. That pissed me off. You know, you can get some good Craftsman tools there at Sears too. I'm sounding like my dad now, but you know, you can get some good fucking. You can get some good Craftsman tools and shit at Sears, and now you can't get shit anywhere.
I just get decent work clothes from Sears. Sears closed in my hometown. It closed right at the beginning of the pandemic. Like the one, I mean, they were already closing down. Them and Kmart, but once, because Kmart was my go-to as well for work clothes. I remember went in there for $100.
That's what I was gonna say. Kmart, yeah.
So we used to make fun back in the day. We tease people to, you poor, your parents broke, you got the blue light special, blah blah blah. But when you got older, boy, that Kmart was your go-to, especially for work clothes.
Man, they used to laugh at us, man. They're like, man, you got your clothes from Kmart? Yeah, they used to clown us, dog.
I went in there $100 one time.
Put it on layaway.
Yep. So you hit that clearance section, boy. I was getting $3 shirts, dress shirt for $3. Man, I came out. My wife was like, "How do you pull that off?" We weren't married then. She said, "How do you pull that off?" I said, "I went in the Kmart and wrapped up." I still got a sweatsuit that I paid like $6 total, $3 for the sweatpants and $3 for the top. Still rocking to this day, 7 years later.
Yes.
Hey, I remember one day my dad took me to Kmart and he bought some gym shoes that cost $8. Hey, he bought me some gym shoes that cost $8, and they were so bad. They sound like church shoes when you walking. I said, "Come on, Dad, man. They clown me at school, bro.
Yeah.
Clown me at school."
One thing I learned is that, man, you can from your ankles up, you can wear like, some low budget clothes. Because there was another place up in we used to go to Pennsylvania before they came to Maryland. It's called Value City. We used to go up there and get clothes because in Pennsylvania it was no taxes on retail, and so we would drive up 45 minutes to Value City and get clothes. Well, then I always said, look,
man,
and plus I'm a big person, so I always had to get big man's clothes. I said, look, from the ankles up, I wear these no name clothes, but my shoes gotta be Nikes, they gotta be Reeboks. I can't be walking around with Payless Pro Wings. I can't do that because you will get joned on in distance school.
Yeah, man.
You will get clowned straight up because we were the ones who were doing the clowning.
Yeah.
You better not show up to middle school or high school with some pro wings.
Embarrassing.
You know what? I fucking forgot all about Value City. Holy shit.
Yeah. They're still around. Well, in my hometown, it's a furniture store.
Yeah, I know they got Value City furniture, but damn, I forgot all about that place because that's where they drag our asses for school clothes every school year.
That's where I went up from middle and high school.
That or that Kmart or what was the other one? Ames.
Oh, Ames was yeah, Ames. I was a store too. That was another great store we had because before it was called in my hometown. Before it was called Ames, it used to be called Murphy's Mart. I don't know if you remember that store, but yeah, that's where I used to get all my Atari games, my Nintendo games. It was usually $5 cheaper than like everywhere else, and that's where we always go. It was Murphy's Mart and Ames. Transformers, Atari games, GoBots, G.I. Joe, or Nintendo. That's where we went at because plus they offered layaway, and so you can able put $10 in, $5 here and there, and then get the game. Other stores didn't have layaway.
Mm-hmm.
But I never see it closed down. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your statement.
No, you're good. No, just talking about just stores in general that closed down. There's so many of them. I mean, there's in my hometown, there's a Facebook page, and there's like a few of them. But then we always talking about olds. We always say, "Hey, do you remember this?" Like for the other day, I don't know if you remember a restaurant called Beefsteak Charlie's, and that was a concept. I think there was wasn't that many stores, but
no, but I remember Sizzlers.
Yeah, we had Sizzler and Western Sizzling. And they had Ponderosa, Bonanza.
Yes, Ponderosa.
Yup.
I love Ponderosa.
And so
Ponderosa Steakhouse.
There was a Ponderosa in Chambersburg. It was either Ponderosa or it was Ponderosa in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. And that was about 4 or 5 years ago, last time I saw it there. And I think this shut down, gone. There's not too many locations left. But now that I'll do that, I'll just go online and type an old school restaurant and see if they're still around. And some places are closed. Sometimes they have like what's happened now is like Blockbuster. Ours is the only one in the West Coast. They're privately owned or independently owned, and so they have like people who just own it because it's still doing very well and it's their own entity. They don't have like a corporate backing like they used to.
That's the up where I'm from in Pennsylvania. They still got a Ponderosa, but I think it's privately owned now. I don't know if it's still. I wanted to go up. We went up. My brother and I went up in when was it? June, because one of my grandmothers passed away, and I wanted to hit that place up, but we were in Pennsylvania all of 24 hours, and we turned around, came back home, drove back home to Texas. So, but yeah, I know they still got a Ponderosa in Butler, in north of Pittsburgh. I forgot about that one too. Son of a bitch. That's another good one.
But you remember this one, Hals's.
Yep. They still got Hals's.
Yeah, they got one in Martinsburg, West Virginia. They got a Hals's there. First time I had a Hals's, it was in 1993. It was a big thing between Maryland versus Pennsylvania schools. So we drove 2.5, 3 hours we left school around 11:30, 12 o'clock. So about a 3-hour drive from here to Altoona, Pennsylvania, Blair County. And we went up there, and it was a big deal because it was a place called Manson Park. They had an AstroTurf field. We never played AstroTurf. And this is where the Pittsburgh Steelers back then used to have, I guess, their practice or training camp. And we went there, and the mistake that we made was going to that all-you-can-eat buffet. Man, we was eating that buffet like it was out of style. Man, we was holding on. It was a close game at halftime. I mean, at first half, but at halftime, that food kicked in. We was all on the toilet, taking turns. Man, we came out. I ain't trying to be nasty. I'm keeping it real, man. We all hurting, our stomach hurting, buttholes hurting. Man, they just ran us over. We were done at that point. We was a sideline. One dude almost crapped himself.
But it was damn good and worth it. That's the thing.
Yo. So when I moved to West Virginia last year, and I was driving the area and I saw that horses, that's what popped in my head was that time at horses in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
I missed that place. That place.
But there's another store. It was called. You had Toys R Us. Do you remember Kitty City? Did y'all have a Kitty City?
Mm-mm.
That was like another Toys R Us. One is big. Don't have Kitty City.
Mm-mm.
See, we had that in my home. Yeah, we had that in our hometown. There was also Kitty City in Hanover, Pennsylvania, as well. But you're on western part. Hanover's more central, Adams County. But yeah, that was before we had Toys R Us. We had Kitty City, and then when Toys R Us came to my hometown, I say when 87 and 88. It was like almost literally down the street from each other. And so it was like, okay, if one place didn't have the game, we had to go to the other game, or we call both if we ride our bikes up. You got this game? I remember when that Toys R Us first opened up, and I remember I called it. This is back in the day to where they ain't having abundance of copies like they do now. It was like, hey, you got that Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest? Yeah, we got it. Man, I rode my bike all the way up there. I almost got hit by a car, rolled that mud, and I bought the last copy. Yo.
I remember that.
You used to get that rain and shine.
Yo.
We had the closest Toys R Us to us was it was an hour drive from where I lived in Pennsylvania. Like to go anywhere from where we were from, like just to go get groceries, that was like a family day. That was a 45-minute drive just to go get groceries. Like I shit you not. Like we lived in the fucking boonies.
They remind me of Shane. Shane had to drive like an hour to get to Walmart. Like, yeah.
Like, well, that's what it was. Yeah. Well, so what is it? Down here it's Kroger, but an HEB, but up there it would be Giant Eagle. My dad actually used to work at the one we'd always go to, and it was about 45-minute drive just to get there. If we wanted to go to like a Toys R Us or anything special like that, that was another 15-30-minute drive to Cranberry, PA.
Yeah.
Just to, like we lived out in the freaking boonies. I mean, I wish I could go back there, but there ain't shit up there.
Giant, if you want some good fried chicken, Giant Eagle is where you go. Because in my hometown, they're the only two Giant Eagles in Maryland. And so I remember when Giant Eagle first came to our town, it was just like, okay, what is Giant Eagle? And then they have all this Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. Like, we're Redskin fans. What's going on? Then the guy had explained to me, oh, this company's based out of Pittsburgh. And I was like, okay, I get all that, but we're in Maryland now, and this is kind of like a mixture. Although this is kind of like mostly Washington with Ravens and then a little bit of Steelers. We're in the middle. We're considered West. We're kind of Central Maryland. So we got a little bit of all three teams in there, but yeah, when you said Giant Eagle, I was like, yeah, that's the thing. So you ever come out to the East Coast, y'all? Yeah, Giant Eagle. Just like Eddie at one summer, we told you to go to Bojangles when he came out here.
Yeah. I went too.
Did you ever go?
Yeah, it was good.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Hey, all right, cool. I want to talk a little bit about how we were when we was outside. I mean, first of all, children nowadays don't go outside now, whether they're in a dangerous area, dangerous situation, people just don't go outside like they used to. But I remember us going down them hot slides, our family, my mom and dad taking us to the park. And in Georgia, them steel slides be hot, and you be trying to go down the damn things, and you burn the back of your leg, or you sitting.
It's great knees and a fucking 30-degree burn.
You better not have shorts on. That's it.
Yes, but I'm telling you, or you how you stick to the slide when you're trying to go down.
Yeah.
See, my cousins and I, we would always take wax paper and rub the shit out of it on that metal slide. I'm telling you, we take like wax paper. You'd rub the shit out of it. I mean, it'd take you a while, and that thing got even hotter. I mean, it reflected the sun. I mean, you were getting 3rd-degree burn guarantee, but you're going to have a damn quick slide going down. Like, I mean, it was worth the pain.
Like that. Yeah, it was.
It was worth it.
Eddie, what about you?
So,
well, where I was at for most of my childhood, we didn't have slides and all that. I was in the projects. We ain't have all that. And the one area over there that did, it was like a hangout spot for other folks. So you really didn't want to be over there. So,
gotcha. Dang, man. So you didn't get a chance to go out there and be on the swings and.
When I got older, I did, but by then I was too old for that, you know. And we moved.
Safety first, I get it.
I get that. Safety. We didn't practice safety when we were kids.
Right.
It was the stupidest shit ever. So not like that. You said about the metal slides. We would go vacation in Ohio. Up off Lake Erie in a place called, I think it's outside of Ashtabula, Ohio, but it's off Lake Erie called Geneva on the Lake. And this place we would stay in had cabins, private place, but they had a couple metal slides, and we would always push them over to the hill because you had to go down a little bit of a hill that went down to the Lake Erie shorefront. We would move that slide up there. We'd take cardboard to the top of the slide, go down the slide, down the hill, crashing into Lake Erie. Well, at least we attempted to. We'd get halfway down the hill and we'd bust our asses 9 times out of 10. But, yeah, that you said that reminded me of that shit right there. We didn't give a damn if we got hurt. We were just looking to have some fun.
I see. You didn't give a damn about none of that. I mean, we used to do dangerous stuff too, like ride your bike without, and your brakes are bad, but you just want to be out there with your friends and you want to hang out with them. Like, hey, I got 2 feet. I can try to stop with my feet. Eat all the rubber off the bottom of your shoes. That's true.
I mean, it's like you all. We went down that slide too, and like I said earlier, you better not have shorts on. You got some skin on that damn slide. But you had the monkey bars. But as you got older, and then got around 7, 8 years old, we started watching wrestling, and so those swing sets became wrestling rings. You do a superplex off the swing set. You jump off the top, and sometimes we would do a thing to where we would swing on the swing, get real high, and fall off that mug and come down and body splash a dude. Yeah, so that's what it was. Became back in those days, just wrestling, backyard. That's what we had, backyard wrestling. Of course, you didn't have any money, you didn't have a job, so you had to be creative. Something that kids don't do these days. They got the iPhone. So what you had to do, I don't know if y'all did this for backyard wrestling, you get some cardboard boxes, you draw wrestling championship belts, and then you cut with you cut it, and then you put a little glue in it, put a little glitter on there, make the little wing angle, make it all nice and shiny, get some magic markers. My mama got mad because you remember that gold aluminum foil was a little bit more expensive than it was as regular one. And she used for baked potatoes. So you know what happened? I used that for the championship belt, boy. I want a gold belt. I don't want no damn aluminum shiny silver belt.
I bet she whooped your ass with that belt too, didn't she?
No, she didn't. She hit me with the shoe. But yeah, but yeah, I remember that. Just then you had, like you said, you use either staples or paper clips and put the belt. Then you had your homeboy play the tape, had a little small little hand tape, the boom box. He played your theme music, and so you got a little walk down the sidewalk, and you bobbing your head, and then you get to the ring, and then back then it wasn't about okay, I'm gonna pull this move off, and then you're gonna do that, let you win. We weren't trying to hurt each other, but we weren't trying to let each other lose either or win. So we were trying to force your shoulders down on the mat, on the ground, and have your homeboy count 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Oh my God, craziness. So, what was the best gaming system that y'all had when y'all was a child
ColecoVision.
that you can remember?
Oh man,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. I mean,
why?
That's true.
Eddie, she wants.
Oh, me, ColecoVision.
Yeah, why, Eddie?
Because it had all the good games on there. It had what was the name of that game?
Adventure, Carnival.
There you go. Then Pitfall 2. Man, had a ton of good games on that Joker, man.
I remember Pitfall. That was, I think it was it on an Atari they had?
Did that thing even have an ending? Because it's like that thing just went on forever. I never beat it.
It went on forever. People said it was an ending, but I never made it.
I never made it. I mean, one time I was determined to make it, and I was flying through that thing, and I still didn't win. I'm like, man, I didn't make no mistakes. How did I not make it?
You remember you had to land on the back of the alligator's neck?
Yeah.
At a certain spot.
Yeah.
You either go a little bit to the left or to the right too far. You go in that water.
And then them swinging ropes, they'll slow down and speed up and whatnot.
Yep. That was on every system. I think Atari 2600, 5200, the Coleco. Because I never owned a Coleco, but what I had was actually a friend of mine had borrowed it. They had a device. Actually, no, he had a device. I had an Atari. He had a Coleco. And so one day he's like, bring your games over. Like, why am I bringing my games over? Because you got a Coleco. His dad bought him an adapter. And it was rare. Actually, got sued in court for this, to where you hooked this adapter to the Coleco and you was able to play Atari 2600 games on it. And you put that cartridge in there, you turn it on, and you was playing Atari 2600 games on the Coleco. A few months ago, I saw that at a retro gaming shop in my hometown, and it was being sold for $100. I was like, "Does it work?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, well, I don't got a Coleco to test it out, but yeah, it was like $100. That little expansion device, and I never forget because you're reading about it. They got taken to court for that too. Now, my favorite system, was Atari 2600. That was my system.
That was a good one too.
And I didn't have the one with the wood. The most popular was the one with the wood grain on it. That came out in the late 70s. I didn't get one until like 82, 83. And that had the black. I got that from Ames. And it came with Pac-Man, I believe. But that was the system. And then I remember there was a lot of good games on there. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Asteroids, Pole Position,
Centipede.
What was it? Combat. Remember when they had little tanks and you had to bounce the little bullet and bounce off the dude and hit the other tank on the side of the screen?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. You had to hit it at the right angle.
Damn, DJ. I didn't have a console until I got an Xbox One. When I was
what is
9.
it? 15?
He said he's 21. Damn.
Oh my God!
His first one was the Xbox One.
Hey, but keeping it. Hey, my first one was Nintendo. I had the Nintendo where you had what was it, 64? The original one too, where you had to blow in a damn cartridge. I remember taking it out. I remember I used to play Mario. I remember Duck Hunt, and they had the little red gun that you would shoot. I had that. I didn't really that was pretty much the older gameplays. Now I was going over to my friend's house and their parents had like the Atari and stuff like that, but I never got a chance to really play because when you was like Coleco, I was like, that doesn't sound familiar to me. But then I was born in '84, so yeah, I was, doing your thing already.
Yeah, that was yeah. Because back then it was different. You had a bunch. Right now it's pretty much PlayStation and Xbox. It's only two systems.
Yeah.
In occasion, Nintendo will make a system. For the most part, it's only two companies. Back in those days, you had a bunch of companies.
Yeah.
So you heard about the Ataris, the Colecos, but there was also another system called the Intellivision.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And my cousin had that one. I always go up to York, Pennsylvania. Yeah, he lived in York, Pennsylvania, and I used to, only time I played it was when either I drive up, go to his house, or he came down like on a winter break or something and played it. That was the only time I played it was the Intellivision. Man, they had some good games. They had like real sports football. They had real sports soccer. They had a bunch of good games. And of course, there's always a few games that they're on every system. But that was another one too, where people didn't hear about the Odyssey 2000. That's another system.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
That was made by Magnavox.
Yeah,
that was another system. That was made. So you had a bunch of systems, the Atari XE. You had all those different systems around that time, and you had to choose from. And it wasn't until like 85 when Nintendo came out, and it's like, okay, here we go. Then it became almost a one or two man show. Then Nintendo came out in 85. The Sega Master came out in 87. The Genesis came out in 90. I'm sorry, 89. The Super Nintendo came out in 91. And then, of course, like I said, it was kind of beefing on. And then, of course, Magnavox came up with the 3DO. Panasonic with the 3DO came out in 94, 95. And then PS1 just had their 30th anniversary, yesterday or the day before? Yesterday. 30 years the first PlayStation's been out. 7800.
Joshua,
Scotty, you're talking about 7800.
was this gaming system. Oh, 78 to 74.
I think it's 78, or that's you know something I don't. Because the 7800, you was able to play 2600 games on that one. Matter of fact, I still got.
Sure, he might be responding to you about that, but.
Yeah, unless he knows something I don't. Unless he got a bootleg copy, I don't know. I ain't never heard of 7400. I never had a 7800. I knew a guy that had it. By that time, Nintendo was. I'm sorry. I was saying that.
I was going to say, you have something that you.
I thought I had. Hold on a second. Let me see.
He said you right.
I've moved so many times throughout the years, but it seems like you ever like carry stuff as you move from place to place and it always lingers. I've got 2 Atari 5200 games I've had since I was a kid, and then they just show up every time I move, and I'm just like, where is it? Like, how this come up? I don't know if I still got them or not.
It would be dope if you did, because I'm anxious to see it.
Yeah, there's one called. I got in the closet somewhere. One's called Defender, and one's called Countermeasure. Let me see if I got it. I'll right back.
That's crazy. Well, why are you doing that, guys? So, telephone. Your first phone, your first cell phone. What was it? Mine was that Sprint flip phone that will go out and seem like every other day. Every time I'm trying to make a call, you got to make sure you have it flipped the right way. Then the
antenna got to be up.
Yes, the antenna got to be up. You found it.
Yep,
that's crazy.
Wow, bro.
Atari 5200. I've had these since I was 8-9 years old, and no matter where I move, all the places I move through, different states, places, they always follow me.
That's dope. You think they're worth any money if you try to sell them?
I don't know. I mean, they're not like they're pristine order or anything. I mean, it's got some marks on it, but I guarantee they probably work. I mean, they're cartridges. I don't think they want bad. They don't like disc or anything. You scratch them up. But yeah. Because I was at the pawn shop a few months ago and I saw a 5200 there. That dude wanted $300. Like, nah, dude, I can't. Nah, I can't drop. No, I'm not into retro gaming like that. Too. Collecting might do it, but I'm not into that retro gaming that much. Now I'm on different bunch of Facebook pages that retro gaming. I do watch what they got. There's guys who got rooms painted and they got different shelves and got all. It's like walking into a store. They even bought like that store quality shelving with the glass to where you need a key to unlock it. It looks like you're in a store.
They're serious about that.
Yo.
So that's true. We had switched topics when you walked off because I wasn't sure if you was going to be able to find it. We were talking about the first phone you ever had, and I was talking about that Sprint flip phone that you had to. Eddie was like you had to pull the antenna up to make sure that it kept the call, and then when you get mad at somebody, you could just simply slam the phone down, but you couldn't do it too hard because then you break it. So I was one. That was my first phone ever.
Your first cell phone?
Your first phone. Yeah, like that flip phone, that Nokia.
My first cell phone was in early 2002. I didn't get it too late, and I forgot what brand it was. I think it started with a K, and it was just a simple phone about 5 inches long, and it had the antenna. And I just remember, if you go back in the day, I think the rule was you couldn't talk. You could talk for free after 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Before they charged you like a certain amount of time. You had a plan to where you got 80 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever, but after 9 o'clock you can talk for free all night. Yeah. That's what everybody did.
Yeah. I remember that. Hey, just call me after 9 when my minute's free.
Right.
The conversation were quick.
Was an iPhone. Yeah. Dang.
What? You? Oh
shit!
I told these young dudes, man, y'all got it made, man. I said y'all got it so made. I said y'all ain't got to worry about long distance. You don't worry about your mama and your father getting on you for calling up a girl and be on the phone for half an hour, and she live a half hour away, but it's 30 cents a minute. You sit there trying to talk to her, and it's long distance. Next to your mama or your father get that phone bill. All of a sudden, you hear them call you by your full government name, and you know it's a rat. You come downstairs.
You could be on that phone for 8 seconds. That was 1 minute.
Yep.
Oh, DJ said, so did they have the big ass controllers, or were y'all rocking little joysticks?
Oh, it had joysticks. You had joysticks. Then you had the main ones. Let's say Atari had like the regular size joysticks. Then you had the 5200 had the one with the keypad on it. The ColecoVision had it too. The same with the Intellivision. And then it wasn't until Nintendo came out '85 when they actually had the pad with the buttons the way it is now. And I remember when they first came out, we're looking at this like, what do we do? Like, how do we control this? And we're sitting there like this. Going like that because we're used to doing that with a joystick, but come to find out we had adapter and switched to the way it is now. And so what they did, I remember they made little adapters you can put over the Nintendo controller to where you can still control it as if it's a joystick. But that was those big ass controllers. Yeah, that's how old the style back then. PCs too back in the day.
Yeah,
I got a story for you. I remember I was in the military, and I got out of regular Army in 1994. And I came home and I was going to the park to play basketball with my brother. And when we got there, we was early, so we had to wait for a little bit. And this guy was standing on a corner, right by the entrance to the gym, and he had this green bag. It's probably about the length of from maybe your forearm to the end of your finger, and he had it on the ground, and it was heavy. And you could tell something was in it, and then he unzipped it, and he started to dial numbers. And I said, "Hey man, what's that?" He said, "It's a cell phone." I said, "What's a cell phone?" He said. This device you can make calls with. I said, wait a minute. You trying to tell me you can make a call while you outside? Now keep in mind, this thing just came out. He was like, yeah. I said, you got to be kidding me. and I picked it up. This thing you could do curls with this thing and work out. That thing was heavy, but it was a phone. It wasn't really a cell phone. It was really more like a brick, really, because it was big. But yeah, he had it hooked up.
I saw those.
He picked it. He picked the actual phone part was just like a phone from back in the day. The thing that you pick up, put up against your head, and they had a dial, a rotary dial on it. I'm like, you got to be. I said, man, technology gone far. They got cell phones.
Never thought it would have went this far, man. Shit,
No.
just wait.
But I remember the cell phones though when they came out, because my brother-in-law worked at one, and back then, like Detro was saying, you after 9 o'clock you could talk for free until like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever the heck it was, and then you could get like I think it was 300 minutes for $50 a month or something like that. That was crazy.
It was expensive, man. I got in trouble one time because Cleo. All right, so I decided that I wanted Cleo. But she seemed like she was convincing. I wanted to hear my whatever, but then I got scared because I remember it was like $10 after a certain amount of time. So I didn't even get a chance. to get my question asked. I think I held for like a couple minutes. My mom got that phone bill. Oh, over here calling. She thought my dad was calling somebody else. And I was like, no, Mom, it wasn't Daddy. It was me. What are you doing calling this? I sure did call Cleo. I did never get a chance to call. I never got the chance to talk to her. But that was I think that was like an extra $15, $20 on the phone bill. Something crazy like that.
Remember, it started out with those 900 numbers, and then they started with those 976 numbers, and then they would switch up and do 800. And I was like, well, Dad, I thought 800 was free. 800 is free, not 804 or 80 or whatever. That's how they threw you off.
Yeah.
Man, craziness.
Didn't she go bankrupt?
Who?
Didn't Cleo go bankrupt?
Oh hell yeah,
she got caught. Yeah.
Like how you out here predicting folks' future, but you over here going bankrupt? You couldn't predict that?
No. We didn't see that one coming.
You ain't see that one coming.
No, sir. No, sir. Corey, what was your first phone? Did you have a Razor like
No,
Josh
I
did?
had some. I'll be honest, I don't even remember what kind it was. I remember it's just this little piece of shit flip phone that, I don't even remember. I just remember it was LG. Like my first 5 phones I had, because I'd always break the damn things and my mom would get pissed. They're all these like LG flip phones. And like it just honestly, like back then though, I had it, but I never used the damn thing. It always just stayed in my backpack. I never they got it for me for like when I got older in school and I was involved in like sports and shit. Like I didn't get it till I was 17. I finally they gave me one, and I didn't even use the damn thing. I didn't start using a cell phone consistently until I think I was 21. I just got back from deployment, and I finally bought my first Motorola X. Then I went to the dark side later on, and now I got Apple, and because I don't like to learn technology, and Apple's easy for me. Like, yeah, it was LG flip phones.
Hey.
Those things they would break so damn easy. They weren't like those Nokias.
To each his own,
Those
man.
damn
I just
things.
remember when phones used to actually make calls only. Now these are little computers on it.
Mm-hmm. That's what
I mean, but hold on. But that's what they are. I'm talking to my daughter. She was talking about, you sound like you're old. Because that was the truth, though. I mean, they are little computers.
I remember when cell phones first started being able to receive and send emails. Man, the manager of my job was mad. He's like, man, they about to make my job hard because now they're gonna be expecting me to return these emails at a moment's notice.
You ain't got no excuse. You can't say you didn't get it.
Right.
See, I remember the first time I saw like one of those, like a modern type. It was the very first iPhone that came out, and it was right before deployment. My commander, he was a Chief Warrant Officer 3. So, when you saw him, it was a treat to begin with. You never saw his ass. He just disappeared into the shadow realm.
Mm.
But he popped out and he was playing some kind of, I can't remember what the game. I think it was called Labyrinth, where you got to get the little ball through the wooden maze to get to the but it was on the damn cell phone. I never saw some shit like that. I was like, what the hell? That was like probably one of the. This was, like I said, this was just before our deployment in 2008. So that was like right when the iPhone first came out, started getting big. And he had one. I was just like, never saw a phone like that before. I was like, what is this?
Mm.
Some of the craziest shit I've ever seen.
All right. 2 more questions. Best TV shows that y'all remember from your childhood.
Oh.
You might as well just block off another hour for this one.
I got a couple.
I mean, I ain't got nothing to do. I know.
I used to love Lost in Space.
Danger, Mr. Robinson.
Yeah,
Really?
that was my show. Yeah. Another I used to watch, even though I was supposed to be asleep. It came on at 10 o'clock, and I'm supposed to be in bed. But I used to sneak and watch this show called Combat. I used to love that show. It was a military movie. It was a TV series, I should say. I used to like that show. Those 2 for me. I'll let them go.
What was the name of it?
Combat. Combat.
I don't remember that. Was it in the 80s?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Man, that was my show, boy. Combat, man, you kidding me? He used to come on at 10 o'clock on the dot, and I'm supposed to be in bed. Yeah, but people actually got killed on that show.
And some people die in MASH, didn't they?
They did? No, they didn't.
I mean, it was about a hospital.
Yeah, they had
Oh, here you go. I just found it. Just Google Combat TV show.
Yeah,
boy, that was my show, boy, back in the day. It was in black and white.
Yeah, here it is. I never heard of Vic Morrow and Rick Jason.
Yeah, man, that was my show, boy. What?
I know who Vic Morrow is. I've just never.
Man, y'all gotta watch. Man, y'all just need to watch a couple episodes. Y'all gonna be hooked. I'm telling you. I used to love that show. It was in black and white.
Good deal. Well, if you got more, you can name them. But we're gonna Deathstroke. What's your
$6 million man?
Oh,
$6 million man.
Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, I thought about
speaking of, and then it was now help me out. I can't remember. Was it $6 Million Man and the Body Man? Were they 2 separate things? Where were the same guy? I can't remember. I remember there was one episode when one of them hooked up with what was Leslie Wagner's character? She was a 600 woman. She was a strong woman.
Oh, that's another one. Tales from the Crypt. Yeah. Oh, that was my show back then.
Yeah. That was good.
Married with Children.
Married with Children. That was
cool.
Al Bundy, bro. Boy. That was my first taste of Chicago right there. With them. But
I actually stopped by that Cheers place. It's in Boston, but it's actually 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
Really?
It's 2 of them. Yeah. The scene that they did outside was one, and then everything else that they showed inside was the other one.
Oh, that's dope. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
Cold as hell in Boston. They can keep that shit.
That's true. Did you finish?
Well, no, I basically had to confirm what I thought because, the Bionic Man and the $6 Million Man were the same guy. It was by Lee Majors, and this character was Steve. I remember Steve Austin. That's where the wrestler got his name from. Was Steve Austin, the character.
I did not know that.
But yeah, he said Sesame Street. I think everybody watched Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of TV shows. I mean, ones that stuck out in my head. You had the A-Team.
Oh, the A-Team. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had let's see. Yeah, A-Team. You had Miami Vice. You had Remington Steele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chips. Yeah, Chips. Of course, you had, oh my goodness. Remember V? Remember V?
Oh, yeah, I used to watch that show. Yeah. They used to peel their skin off.
Yeah, they had a little green dust on them. They started freaking out, start peeling their skin off. And then the one dude who plays Freddy, what's his name? Robert Englund, the guy who plays Freddy Krueger. He was dating a girl, and he got the girl pregnant, and they had twins, and one was a regular looking baby.
Yeah.
Straight up alien. Had a big old football head and everything. Came out. And then remember the main villain, her name was Diana, but I ain't gonna lie, I had a crush on her, but I thought she was fine. I'm 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid. I was like, dang, come on, she's the villain, but she nice looking. But yeah, V. Then there was remember Street Hawk. You remember Street Hawk?
I remember that.
The dude named Rex Smith. He was the main guy. I can't remember his name in the show. Remember Auto Man?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that little dot, and it drew any vehicle he wanted. It was like a little star.
Yeah.
It had a little star, and whatever vehicle he wanted, the star will just draw it for him.
Yeah.
So he want to get into a car, it draw a car, he get in it. If you want to draw a helicopter, it will draw a helicopter, and he'll get in it.
Speaking of Sesame Street, remember that show where they just say conjunction junction? What's that function?
Oh shit! Yeah.
And then there was this one. Then I don't know if you remember this. I remember if you acronym Stacy.
Company. All that, man.
Oh yeah. You remember the TV series Mike Hammer? He used to come on USA Network. It was Stacy Keach. It always coming around 10 o'clock at night. I used to sneak out and try to stay up late, but I was always obsessed because he was a private investigator. You look it up, Mike Hammer, and every woman except for the secretary that was on the show, they always had cleavage and they had big breasts, and they always showed that. Of course, as a kid, I was like, wow, I like that. That was the main thing. There's some things you stick out as a kid. You're like, wow, I like this. And of course, I used to go. Of course, you always go to your friend's house, and your friends at HBO. See, my folks knew better. They knew how to get HBO because they knew I'd be out sneaking. I always try to say, "Come on down, I want to watch karate movies at night." My father like, yeah, karate movies. Okay, I see you. So then I would sneak over my friend's house, and you watch those Emmanuel's freaky deep shows come on there at night. And you sit there like, wow, what's that? And you remember late at night, it came on regular TV, but now and then it come on HBO. Remember Benny Hill?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, man. Theme music going around, and all those he chased all the women and everything around the field and stuff. And then you come to HBO and you see everything. Wow, you don't get this regular. Shoot. Then my last one, as you remember about, was back in the day. See, I don't know about you all. Like I said, I wasn't allowed to have HBO for obvious reasons. So anytime I wanted to watch the Mike Tyson fight, I had to go to my friend's house. But, once in a while, like once or twice a year, HBO or Cinemax, they will give out a free week or a free weekend to where you can watch movies. So then, of course, You had my VCR ready to go. I had a bunch of blank tapes that you went and bought from the store, or you had some already.
Yeah.
And so then, as you know, all the movies came on, recording. Yeah, I recorded karate flicks. There was also some other flicks I recorded too.
Oops.
And then I'm sorry, one more thing. Then my uncle and family friend, they worked for the cable company, and they showed me how to tap into the box outside in the yard to get free HBO and free Cinemax.
Yeah.
So when I got that, so I played it all because my dad one time, for months we had it, and no one said anything. All of a sudden, my father flipping through the channels, and he was like, he saw some breasts or something. What's wrong? We don't. He's getting my mother. The mother paid the cable bill, and he's like, "Doris, we don't got. We're making the HBO." And my mother fussed, "We don't got no HBO." Blah blah blah. And of course, Dad came down. I said, "I don't know how we got HBO." So he called the cable company, and then they cut it off. So I waited about a week or two. I go back out that little box and broke into the little box. It was right in front of our townhouse. Going there around 2 or 3 in the morning, everybody's sleep, it's dark, with a flashlight, open that mug up, put that little chip in there, move it around, boom. Rearrange the wires, got my free HBO back.
They had them I forget what you call them things you put it in between the cable.
Splitter?
The splitter, and that's how you got the free channels.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all ever heard of Kung Fu Theater? Lots of
Yeah, USA Network, 12 p.m. every Saturday. But that was my order. I watched, 8 o'clock in the morning Saturdays. It was watch the Smurfs. You had Cubert. Remember, that was a video game. It was also it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
Remember what was it called? The Snorks, the Snorks. Remember the little Snorks, and they were like had football heads. Yeah. And then you had, because you had the Transformers, your GoBots, your He-Man sometimes came on the weekend. But yeah, 12 o'clock USA Network, Kung Fu Theater, and that'll be in 2 hours. That's how I grew up. That's how I started, because I like Bruce Lee. It was like, okay, then you got these other guys too. So that's how I started watching all that stuff was Kung Fu Theater.
I used to watch the 5 Deadly Venoms on there.
Oh,
that was one of my favorites.
5 Deadly Venoms, boy. I posted that clip on Facebook like a week or two ago.
It was like Frog, Toad, I forget the rest of them.
Yeah, me too.
Love it, man. Love it.
It's Corey's turn.
I love Soul Train. Like I love Soul Train. I love to watch everybody dance, and I was up there trying to do my thing at around that time. I saw a lot of things I saw like in the chat, like Knight Rider, like of course you got mentioned like 18, Tales from the Crib, Saved by the Bell, Married with Children. All of those are staples. Cheers.
Hey Peg.
I would watch Andy Griffith. I didn't even watch Andy Griffith. I watched Bewitched and freaking the other one. There was another one, Mystery Science
I Dream
Theater.
of Jeannie.
I don't know if y'all know about that. Yes, that one. I Dream of Jeannie. But I was kind of a nerdy thing. But that Mystery Science Theater, it was like 3 little beings that would be sitting there watching an old ass movie, like Andromeda Strain, like a black and white movie, and they'll be commenting. They'll be saying some really outlandish and funny stuff, right? But you're trying to watch the movie, but they are just down there commenting, and that's so funny. But yeah. Family Matters.
Yep.
Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
A
different world.
Yes. Yes, a different world. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, we try to sound like it. Living
Family Ties.
Right.
The show, there were so many shows back then. They were all good. Like you in the 80s and the early 90s, even mid to late 90s. It's like, man, the shows were just good. It was, back then. I mean, especially the fathers. They had positive father figures. There was no craziness. You might have an occasional episode to where it was some drama, some bad stuff. But that's just the way life works sometimes. But for the most part, like all those shows. You have a positive father. That was the main thing that I see that now.
Good
A lot
time.
of the shows now, good time.
Yeah.
James Evans.
Well,
JJ was it? Yep. Yeah,
That's why I've always liked Roseanne, because they always kept it real.
Yeah,
True.
like this, like Roseanne too.
Like before she went, batshit crazy nowadays, but like in the original run of the show, like that was, and I still love that show today. I'll go on Peacock and watch that shit all the time. I love that the old seasons, because I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, like Family Matters, Fresh Prince, all them, like they were great, but for some reason, something about Roseanne, like, they just kept it real. Like they were fucking broke
as hell.
Broke as hell.
Relatable.
Like, we're very relatable. I'd always that's shit. My parents would watch that one religiously. Fucking Mama's Family. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yes.
I remember that.
I remember Mama's Family.
Mama's Family. My favorite one of all time. Golden Girls. Oh shit. I ain't hating on. I love Blanche.
That Sophia and Rose were my favorite ones.
My wife is a huge Golden Girls fan. I didn't watch them. I heard about them, but I didn't watch them until I was with her. And I sat down with her. I think she was sick or something. I sat down and watched a couple episodes, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually kind of funny. My favorite show of all time, though, it was back when shit.
I'm telling you.
Long before I was born, was Emergency. I don't know if anybody remembers that one.
I don't.
Emergency. It tied into Adam 12. It was an old fire rescue show from the 70s. It followed LA Fire Department, LA County firefighters. But if it wasn't for that show, it was because of that show is why they started teaching CPR to the public. Like before, you see your modern ambulance now, where you got an EMT and a paramedic on there. Back in the day, the ambulance was just two drivers. That's all it was. They weren't taking care of your ass. They were just driving you from point A to point B. It wasn't until this show came out, they started building up that paramedic program to staff ambulances with paramedics. That way, they could treat while they were driving. So, but that was one I always used to love when I was a kid, because I just always wanted to be one of them growing up. Thought it was badass.
I used to like Walker, Texas Ranger, and
my dad loved that show.
Man, I watched that. I just introduced my children to that show like about a month ago. I showed them an episode. It was like, oh, they crazy. This was an episode where dude was just going around blowing up, just putting bombs everywhere, just blowing up random stuff. And they were really interested. And I was like, it still resonates to this day. That's crazy. I thought they'd be bored, but they was actually watching it. It's crazy. But last question I want to ask. So I know we could probably do this all night, but I don't know what kind of time frame y'all on. But I want to know, what do y'all think happened? Why do you think that things changed so drastically?
Technology.
From the 80s and the 90s. Yeah.
Technology. Started with the internet.
Yeah, that's what started.
Started with the internet.
Can I speak, if you don't mind? When I was thinking about this for a lot lately, because I was saying to myself, telling my wife about this the other day. I was like, if you look at any photo or any picture, and if let's say there's not a car in the background or how you can look at how someone looks and how they dress, you can pretty much tell how they look from the 40s, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and I say even early 2000s. But it seemed like from 2005, I think, on, it's almost like besides maybe technology and internet capabilities, there's not really been a progression. Every every decade had its own uniqueness. And it's like we lost that. Like I said, I can look at any picture, I can watch any video, I can look at a video game, I can look at a TV show. I can tell you what decade it is based on what they dress, how they speak. But now it's like from 2000, the last 20 years, it's been nothing but a complete blur. Like even the video games, you look at some of these games that come out on the Xbox One, I'm like,
yeah, it's crazy.
There's games that look better on the Dreamcast that came out in '99 that look better than they do in the system.
Yeah.
I think innovation is lost. I think creativity is lost, been down the drain. Just look around the buildings that are being built. Look at the homes that are being built. They're not but crackerjack,
throwing them up.
Style homes.
Yeah,
a tornado or hurricane come by and destroy these homes, and it'll be nothing. But an old house that was built in 1896 is still be living strong, still be there, and no damage whatsoever because it was made with brick, all brick. And it's technology, especially social media. It has brainwashed people, has indoctrinated people. I will try my best not to get a strike against the LIA. I don't know if there is one, although I'll just keep it real. I just think that it's the way people conduct themselves, the way they interact with each other. This is why we have these beasts in SFL. And no disrespect to the younger crowd, but they didn't grow up in an era to where you had to face people in person and act with and talk and interact with each other. See, they're used to just being on the internet and they can just say any kind of reckless stuff they want and not worry about the repercussions of their actions. But guys like me, our age, Eddie, Sim, in our mid 40s, early 40s, or maybe higher, in late 30s, we grew up in an era to where, hey, we're men. We know it can go from 0 to 100 just like that. And so we're going to act accordingly. We're not going to be disrespectful. We're not going to be mean because it can go south real quick. And this is the climate that we're in. And you see the technology has affected these people. And then COVID didn't help. That made everyone not everyone, but made a lot of people anti-social to where they get on their screens, they live in their own little world, they live in their own little bubble. And then they expect everybody else to operate under their rules instead of the rules of the land or the rules of just common sense. This is why I said I used to on Eddie's show 3-4 years ago when he first started out. That's why I said, they say all this stuff on the internet, then we can't get a convention. It's like, oh, hi, Destro, how are you? I'm like, okay. And I knew it was going to be the case because then they realize they look at you like, I ain't gonna mess with it, but I'm a chill guy. I treat everyone with fairness and kindness. But to them, it's like, they don't know how to interact because they just didn't grow up with it. They didn't grow up with, hey, if I see something reckless, this dude's gonna meet me at the bus stop. This dude gonna meet me across the street off the school grounds and gonna be throwing hands. And they didn't grow up like that. We did. We knew
they don't realize how real fuck around and find out was.
Right. Exactly.
They had no idea.
Yeah, and so that's why. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I can go on. It's just technology has affected people in so many ways, along with the pandemic, but mainly it's technology because it's the social media, and it's a great thing. You got to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly. The positive. Hey, we're able to have a conversation like this before we wouldn't know to have this 20 years ago or 30 years ago. We're able to get on Discord and talk without paying 30 cents a minute for talk long distance. You can talk to somebody in London, Hong Kong, using Discord, and you can talk all night long as long as your internet works and his internet works, you're good. But that's the good part. The good thing, you can send files back to each other. You don't have to drive. That's how it was back in the day. I remember having a computer back in the early 80s, a Tandy, and to where you needed a file, you had to drive to the store. You knew someone, you had to drive to their house and get it. I remember when you got a 1200 baud modem, like an 86 or 87, tying up your mother's phone line, and she getting mad. She can't get phone line.
Yeah.
Because you didn't hit *70 to block the call waiting to where you're downloading a legal game. You ain't trying to have it disturbed, so you blocking your mama's line, and she get mad at you. And then I had to get my own line because of that. These are small little minute things that we've lost. And this goes back to, and this is my last thing. I do apologize, y'all, because I can go on about this. It's just it's also made us, in my opinion, I think it made us lazy because now it's like, do we go our way to meet people? There's people that should have been at a convention, and I might get in trouble for this. Who cares? Who live in the D.C., Washington metro area, travel distance to Baltimore, and they couldn't go to that convention. You could have stayed for one day, do what I did. I didn't stay there. I drove 85 miles back and did it again. Why is that? They didn't have them. I mean, I understand money is tight. I get it. I understand it. I wasn't working for 2 months. I understand money was tight. But it's like, was it all money? Or because you're just too comfortable being with technology to sit behind a screen and you don't want to face anybody in person? Not for any drama or issues, just the fact of just putting yourself out there to meeting people. Because now you're starting to see there's people now who are isolating themselves. They did it for so long, especially during the pandemic, that now they became antisocial. This is why now you hear about this stuff about with what's wrong with men these days, the young boys. How come they're isolated? How come there's a pandemic of loneliness amongst young men? How come they're not working out? How come they don't want to get a woman? How come they don't want to go out and work? Period. Why do you want to sit at home and play video games? It's technology. Why they say testosterone levels is lower since the 80s? Because men rather sit home and play video games. These young dudes, and I'm not judging all of them, but this is what the numbers are saying. This is what people are saying, and there's reason behind it. It's because the convenience technology. You know, back in the day, remember back in the day with pizza? Oh yeah, back to about pizza. Pizza. Now people eat pizza every day. Back in the day, pizza was like caviar. It was variegated pizza.
Yeah.
It was on Friday nights, and pizza wasn't like cheap how it is. You can get a pizza from Little Caesars for $8-9. Back in the day, a pizza was like $25, $30.
Yeah.
And don't ask for more than 2 toppings. Your mama give you the side eye. You know what I mean? So what? You can get pepperoni and sausage, and that's it. Don't ask for any more.
What's up, Ray? What's the word, buddy?
Can I get some onions? My mom would be like, I got onions in the refrigerator. You can cut your onions up and put it on your pizza yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But now look what we got. We got Uber Eats. We got DoorDash.
Dude, that is crazy. I still don't get that, man. I mean, you can't go get your own. You rather pay somebody extra. I can't do it, bro.
Man, I was in DoorDash. I was 2 months I was out of work. I was doing DoorDash. And then I had a dude, and I'll take the tip. I ain't gonna hate. This dude lived like 15 miles away. I wasn't gonna do it, but he tipped me $25 just to give him a milkshake from Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
like, dude. By the time I get to your place, man, it's gonna be water. It's gonna be milk.
Right.
But I'm like, if you want to tip me that money, but don't give me a bad review because your stuff is melted.
Right.
Because I can't fly to your house.
Right.
But it's like the convenience has made everyone late. Now it's like, oh, I don't want to go to the store. Why go to the store? I go to Amazon. I order my clothes. Which to me is like, that's kind of weird for me. You know, I'm a big person. I like
to try it on.
Try it
on first.
But look, the stores are closing. Kmart, Sears, Hex, Macy's. Some Macy's are closed. And it's like all these places are closing down because people are just convenience. And I'm sorry, it comes to a point to where are we being lazy? Is technology making us lazy? You look at us, and I gotta say this because I'm overweight. But compare to people back in the day. Watch old pictures, watch old movies of just not or documentaries. Look how many people was in shape back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s compared to now. You know. And then as you can't even speak on that stuff, you can't say anything because people get offended. And although you're not trying to be evil, you're not trying to be mean, you're just trying to look out for them. Like, look, you know, that's why I cut a lot of stuff out. You know, I'm about to be 50 another year and 2 months. Like, I got to cut some things out, more things, because my heart can't take this weight much longer. I can't work the pace that I work. Something's going to break down eventually. You know? And You know, it's the technology, man. It's just like I said, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, and it's just. But you know, here's the thing. But it's, at the same time, I always say this: it's all about being a master of self and controlling yourself. Because I can sit here and blame technology, and I'm right and I'm correct. But at the same time, you do have control of yourself. And one thing is, I don't know if you know of a motivational speaker named Jim Rohn back in the day. He died a few years ago. But he always said you can't control the season, but you can control yourself. And that means there's a lot of chaos going on in this world. You can't control how people think, much as sometimes you want to. You can't control what they say, no matter how much what you say to them. But you are the master of self, and you can control yourself. So if you want to still do those old school things, like having a cookout or having a dinner every Sunday or any day, call your friends over or your relatives over, you can do that. But the point is, it's like we're so convenient now. Why do I need to go to class reunion where I can go on Facebook? Why do I need to go and why do I need to talk to this guy to where I can talk to him on Discord or Facebook or social media? Why do you go to the store? I can order from Amazon. Why do you order from McDonald's up the street? I can get in my car and be there in 5 minutes and back to where I can order from Uber. From Uber Eats and DoorDash. You know, and my last thing, and I do apologize because I can go on all night about this. I want to give everybody a fair chance. Is that go back to that movie. I can't remember the name of it. It was that movie that came out on Netflix about 2 years ago. It had Ethan Hawke, Julia Roberts. It was a movie that apparently the Obamas produced. I can't remember the name of that movie, but there was a part in that movie to remember. Apparently stuff got shut down. They were saying either Islamic terrorists or North Korean terrorists then took over parts of America and shut the grid down, what have you. So they lost communication, they lost technology. I can't remember the name of it. Someone find that for me, please. Look it up. It came out 2 years ago. It went straight to Netflix. It's Ethan Hawke, Julia Roberts, and one dude who plays he was in Luke Cage. He was Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. The guy who's supposed to be Blade, the new Blade, that guy was in that movie. What's his name? I can't remember.
Leave the World Behind is the movie.
That's it. That's the name of the movie. That's it. And so there's a part in that movie, and I made a point about it on Facebook. I should find that post. So basically, the dude was so into technology. He's a grown man. First of all, it made me mad because he looked soft. He was relying too much on his woman to protect him and the family to where it should be the other way around. I'm old school. And I don't care what I say. I guess people want to go, you should be out of the Hall of Fame for what you say on Facebook. I don't care. But the fact is, the man needs to protect his woman, not the woman protecting his man. That's how it is supposed to be. Okay? And so in that movie, he wasn't doing that. His woman was just basically running things, and I didn't like that. That was whatever. But then the fact is, he relied on technology too much. And then when it came down to where it went away, he couldn't do anything. There's a part to where his son gets sick. And so him and the brother, man, they go to Kevin Bacon's house because Kevin Bacon is like a survivor. He was like a doomsday prepper. He had water, he had supplies, he was building this stuff up because he knew one day something was gonna go down in the United States. So he was prepping. So then he went to the dude's house and said, "Look, man, he was begging the man to help him get some medicine for his son." And the one thing that was profound that stuck in my head, and I made a Facebook post about it, he says, "I am a useless man." And he said that because he relied on technology so much that he could not help himself. He couldn't provide a man with something to bargain with to get medicine to help his son, because he says during that little exchange, he's like, "Man, my iPhone, my Google Pay or my Apple Pay or whatever, it's not working. My Venmo's not working." He kept naming all this stuff that was all dealt with technology, but he couldn't do anything for himself. Why? Because technology was shut down. The grid was shut down. All electricity, all communication was shut down. So he could not help himself. And so he was useless. He says it himself. He goes, "I am a useless man." If I find that post, I'll send a screenshot and send it. I'll get a screenshot, send it to you. But this is why I always say, you got to learn to live without technology. And sometimes, and I had to ease back, I will get on these younger generations. Like, I bet you without this mouse, you wouldn't be able to learn this computer.
Right.
You can build it. You can build a PC from scratch. Well, of course you can build a PC from scratch when they basically it's nothing but plug and play. How about go back in the day when you had to solder the memory chips onto the motherboard, and don't get it and don't mess up. You can't just go up to the nearest Micro Center or Best Buy to get another motherboard. You gotta send that stuff off. You gotta send that stuff off and wait for a few months to get it back. So that's why I say it's best. And then this is where I've done it and I want to do more of. I think I encourage most men is to get out behind these machines and start engaging with your friends. That means even just going out to, I don't say go to the club. I'm saying just having a couple of beers, going out and just chilling. Maybe, get into your local MMA, your local boxing, lifting weights, just something to where what men used to do back in the day, because we're losing that. We don't have that. I can't ever pronounce that word. Camaraderie. How you pronounce that word?
Camaraderie.
Thank you. Yes. Have that with your group of people. You don't need a lot of people. You need 2 or 3 of your dudes with you and say, hey, let's go fishing. Let's do stuff that our fathers, our grandfathers did before they had Nintendos. When they had nothing but busting spades on the corner. And they had to use their mind, their technology. I mean, their mind and their skills before technology to have fun. That's it, y'all. And like I said, I don't want to ramble on. I'm sorry, y'all. Go ahead, man.
Oh, you good, brother? You
good, man.
Yeah.
I'm very. It's been on my mind for a while, and most recently because I've seen how the world is, and as I'm trying, and like I said, I catch myself. I still say occasional swearing words as I try to change myself from a worldly point of view, from a biblical point of view, and I'm looking at these things. I'm like, where do we go wrong? And as we all unanimously said, it's technology, and we're getting away from traditional things that work, things that operated. And and depending on what your beliefs are, we're falling apart. And as you can see, there's more chaos in the world. And as you know, the dude got shot and killed today. I watched that hit 15 times a day.
Crazy.
It's like life is short, and all because you have a different opinion.
Yep.
He said things that people was against. They didn't like. And I watched some of it. I went back today and watched some of it because I didn't really know much of the guy. I knew of him, but I didn't know much of him. But he gave, to what I saw, he gave people an opportunity to hey, you don't believe what, hey, you want to debate me? Let's debate. That's how it's supposed to be. I don't expect Eddie or Corey or you to agree with everything that I believe in, but that's the world we live in. Because, and I think, like I said, it's technology. We're so in our bubbles, in our homes, that people think you must agree with all 10 of my beliefs. And if you don't agree with all 10 of my beliefs, I don't care if it's 9.5. If you don't believe all 10 of my beliefs, I consider you an enemy. I consider you a combatant, and I consider you a threat. And that's what has happened. And that's not just on certain sides. It's on the left and the right. Yep. And I end it there because I don't want to get it too political, but that's where we're at right now.
We'll have those shows. We'll be able to debate. You're not necessarily debate, but be able to kind of healthily have those discussions, because I think that those are the kind of stuff that should be had. But, a lot of times people, if you don't agree with them, if you don't, see it their way, it's not like you can just agree to disagree anymore like it used to be. But Eddie and Corey, I wanted to kind of shoot over to you guys. Did y'all have anything that y'all wanted to add to that? Why do you think why do you think that so much has changed besides, what Destro said? Do y'all have any?
I mean, he pretty much hit it on the head. He took pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, technology, man, it changed the whole way the whole world interacts. I mean, it's
technology is a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse. I mean, it can be used for so much great things, which it is, but it's also used twice as much for bad things. And it just, like I've told my wife, like I always tell her, I wish we could go back into a time. And like and I know people have different thoughts and opinions on it, but in my mind, like a time that I would love to go back to for us to like to have a reset as, you know, just a society is like right after, let's go about a year after 9/11. Technology was still in its infancy. It wasn't all this bullshit that you see now. There was nobody arguing over this. I mean, there were arguments, but people would, you know, they would agree to disagree, you know, and move on with their day.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, you know, fast forward 20 plus years, and it just seems like nobody even knows who they truly are anymore. You know, kind of like what Dester said. Everybody wants to be a fucking keyboard warrior. You know, but you get them face to face, and they have a totally different attitude towards you. You know, but no, Dester pretty much hit everything on the damn head.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should have left something for y'all to talk about. My bad.
You're good, brother. You're good.
No, I mean, but it was a good point, and I think that everything that we could say would just boil down to technology, but just even the togetherness, the family time, and the time that people would have that human interaction. Like you would actually go out and talk to your friends when you were younger. You go out and hang out with them. You know, you have to be home before the street lights come on, but you was out there, and you know, you had that time with them. Even when you're dating, like everybody wants to do the speed date or the blind dates and the online dating and stuff like that. Well, you used to be able to go out. That's why I'm so scared to date now, because it's like you're meeting someone's representative. Like when you go out and you meet somebody, you can have a coffee with them, you can have a conversation, you can actually see if they own some shit or if they not, you know. But it's kind of easy to hide that through technology, you know. It's easier for you to go down to McDonald's and grab you some food versus cooking it yourself, you know. That's why we're unhealthy, because we want everything so fast and we want everything so instantaneously, where back in the day it used to take time. You had to be good to be a musician or to be to have a show. You know, now they just give it to you just because you look a certain way, you know.
Damn, that one.
You used to be able to do a whole lot. You used to be healthier, right? You used to have a whole lot of more opportunities, but it just seems like the more they get you to focus over here, the more they take from you. And then you looking around like, what the hell happened?
The okie doke.
So,
yeah,
that's why I like listening to George Carlin. I know he wasn't the most politically correct, but he hit everything wrong with society. Like, and this was back in the mid to late 90s, even into the early thousands. You know, put aside all of his other real derogatory stuff, but like when he talks about society as a whole and how they act, you know, how people are, he hit the nail on the fucking head a million times over.
George Carlin said, "It's a big club and you ain't in it."
Yep.
Talking about the global elite.
Yep.
Yeah, but then and it's not just technology, but also it's a lot of finances too. Because you think about I can't speak on you all's family, but I say mine. You go back in the day, we had a family reunion, like I said, the Sunday dinners, and it was more often in the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s. But then, and the families were more close knit. But what's happened now in recent times? Now the economy, people are losing jobs. Even before most recent people getting laid off, you know, that the money was a little tight. You know, I remember I posted on Facebook too. I remember vegetable oil before the pandemic was $1.77. And I had that memorized because I use vegetable oil. And then 3-4 months into the pandemic, that $1.77 bottle of vegetable oil became $4.92. No, $4.97, excuse me. And so now it's like, okay, I like to have a family cookout or a dinner, bring 15 people, 10 people. But it's like, you know what? My money's kind of tight. I can only feed my immediate family. Uncle Earl, Leroy, Tyrone, I'm sorry, I can't have them as much. Man, we can't have it every Sunday, maybe once a month or every other month.
Right.
And then people get spread out. People now, with my family, we mostly in Maryland and York and Pennsylvania, like Frederick, Maryland and York, Pennsylvania, that little connection there. And then, men like my father who was in the military, who was stationed at Fort Detrick. And then he met my mother, and then he marries into the family. So yeah, that close knit of men. But now it's like, I think, I can't speak for you, Eddie, or you, Corey, but I don't see like that cohesive in men. And part of that is because we're so wrapped over our own lives. We're trying to basically, we're trying to build generational wealth. We're trying to take care of business. We're getting older. We ain't young dudes anymore. We're in the OG stage now. And so it's like, we can't do what we used to do. And we know we're in our back half of our lives. We're on the front half. And so we know that we'd be gone in 10, 20 years. Just keeping a buck. And so we're wrapped up in trying to just take care of our families, provide for our families. And so I think what happens is that you don't have much money, or some people don't have much money. So then the family gets spread apart, and then you might have to move out of the area. That's what happened to my family. It's like some of them had to move out of the area. They couldn't afford to live in my hometown anymore. I don't live in my hometown anymore. I couldn't afford to live in my hometown. I could pull it off, but anything extra, won't be any food in the house. So it's like I had to move to West Virginia. And my hometown is 35 minutes away, but I can still get there to see my daughter and stuff. But it's like, I don't live there anymore. Some of my family doesn't live there anymore. They moved down south where it's affordable, where their money can stretch. Yeah. And as people brag about, oh, I'm from Maryland, I'm from DC. That's nice, but we pay an arm and a leg to live here. And what woke me up was 6.5 years ago, I was a manager for Einstein Bagels, and they took the top performing managers down in Atlanta, Georgia to, just to kind of, give us an award. And just talk to the other general managers there, and like they make around the same money. Some of them even less than I did. And they live in homes, nice single homes. They're only paying like $250,000, $300,000 for a nice big old single home, 2 or 3 car garages. And they're showing me pictures on their phones. Meanwhile, we got townhouses in Maryland that run you $500,000.
That's crazy.
When Charles was on the show last week, when he wasn't lying when he said there's townhouses for $750,000 in Fairfax, Virginia, because I used to work down near in Fairfax, and down the street I did a catering delivery, and brand new development, $750 starting for a townhouse but no basement. So technology, like I said, technology is the most obvious one, but the financial part of it as well, in my opinion, from what I've seen, in my family. And so it kind of goes hand in hand. But then, like I said before, you have to, and now it requires us to put in a lot more effort to unite. It takes a lot more effort to continue those traditions.
Indeed. Well, guys, this was a good conversation, and I think that we can definitely do this again sometimes, talk about more different points, But it was fun being able to kind of relive some of the nostalgic moments that happen in life, and they make us who we are. And hopefully with this, this shall pass too. Okay, so you absolutely right about that. DJ said he's gonna start calling Eddie Unc from now on. I'm already being somebody already called me Aunt auntie already. So I'm already auntie status. So
Skinny used to call me Unc all the time.
Yes, he did.
Like, what up, Unc? Like, look, bro,
But,
hold on.
but thank y'all. I want to thank y'all for giving me, putting your inputs out there and just, for spending 2 hours with me, talking about the good times. It was great. And I really appreciate you, gentlemen. And hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon.
Oh, absolutely. Appreciate you having us.
For sure.
Anytime.
Good
guys.
stuff. Thanks for
Thank
having me
you,
on.
chat. Anytime, brother. Anytime. We'll do this again. It'll be different topics, but I'll be able to get y'all back on. We'll talk about some more stuff. Everybody that came out tonight to check us out, thank you so much for chilling out with us and reminiscing with us. I'll definitely let you know when I have another show well ahead of time. Hopefully it won't take years like I felt this one did, but it was definitely worth it, guys. So y'all have a good night, and I will see you soon. I'm trying to freaking find my music, but I can't find my music to play us out. So we might have to go out without it, guys. That's messed up. But anyway, y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all soon.
For sure.